Hello and welcome to episode 239 of the Daily Sales Message, where every single day I share sales tips, sales techniques, sales strategies. I teach you how to sell, and I do so in a very relaxed and personable and human and practical style, because that's how I do it and that's how I teach my clients and students how to sell. If you're new around here, my name is James Neal. I do teach people how to sell for a living. My approach comes in two very distinct components. I start with what I call a clear sales message, so being able to articulate very clearly and very simply what you offer and why somebody might wish to buy from you. It's your value proposition essentially, but a clear sales message sounds a lot better. And secondly, we talk about selling confidence, the ability to be relaxed and comfortable and confident in a selling situation. In today's episode, we're talking about a 2 or 3 word clear sales message. Yesterday, we spoke about a 1 word clear sales message, this notion of theming things with your buyer. So what are your buyers really buying? For my buyers, often it's confidence. So that's the theme I'll use in all of the emails and phone calls and social posts and things that I'm doing. I'll try and stick as close as I can to the theme of confidence. Today, in your 2 or 3 word clear sales message, we're talking about logical statements, logic statements, causality, logic chains, just things you just basically cannot argue with. You know, a statement such as, when it rains, you'll get wet. Yeah, that's what will happen. You can't argue with that. But using that simplistic, it's like almost overly simplistic logic to make people understand the value and the logical causality of what you're doing. In my own business, I use this phrase: confidence comes from clarity. Confidence comes from clarity. 4 words. Confidence comes from clarity. When you are clear in your messaging and you know what to say and what to do and how to handle any questions, you will then become confident when you are selling. Confidence comes from clarity. Can't argue with that. That's nothing specific to my business and my branding or anything like that. It's just a logical statement. It's a bit like, you know, if it rains, you're going to get wet. Logical causal statement. The question I have for you is, what does this look like in your own business? What's the logical causality in your own business where if this happens, then that will happen? So I've got a client I'm working with at the moment. I can't tell you all of the words in this because this is their clear sales message, which they're paying me for, but it's word determines profit. This determines profit. So the link between this thing and profit is tight, determines profit. In your own business, where do these simple, logical things apply? And yes, as much as I espouse at the start of every episode, this is all very practical and very simple to follow. This is probably one of the harder episodes to actually implement because you really got to get your thinking cap on. But where is the basic logic in your business that relates what you're doing to what your client needs? If it rains, you'll get wet. If it's sunny, you'll get sunburnt, kind of thing. Where's that basic logic? If you can find that in your business, and if you can't, then reach out to me. This is the kind of stuff I do with my clear sales message clients, and we can work together. But if you can find that logical statement, and it'll be a couple of words, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, this is linked to it. So this influences that in some way. It starts it, it stops it, makes it better, makes it worse, speeds it up, slows it down, influences it, whatever. Once you've got that and you can use that with your clients, it's very powerful, because if you're saying a statement that you literally can't argue with because it's just logical causal fact, that carries a lot of weight. And there's huge kind of confidence from the brevity and the conciseness of making a point in just a couple of words. If I can say to you, here's my logical statement, and I don't need to spend half an hour explaining the concept to you, that can be really compelling for a buyer. And it gives them this feeling that you know what you're talking about, which sounds really flippant, but it's very important. Okay. Where's the logic? Where's the causality? Where's the connection between what you're doing and the problem that you solve? Confidence comes from clarity. So the thing that you're doing comes from what? Or it makes it faster or slower or better, etc. If you can find the causal logic chain in your business, and it's not easy, you'll be streets ahead of most of your competitors. But if this is too hard for you, because it is a bit of a hard one to explain, to be honest with you, do you go back to yesterday's episode, number 238, if you haven't already listened to it, where we talk about theming, where it's a single word. That's a lot more accessible, a lot easier to follow. Right, that's it for this, probably the most confusing episode of the Daily Sales Message. Tomorrow in episode 240, 240. We're talking about results. There's two types of result, and one you want, one you do not want. So we'll talk about that in tomorrow's episode. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please do hit the like or subscribe button or comment somewhere around this video or this podcast. It helps us to attract more people and spread our free, actionable, everyday sales tips to people just like you. Thank you for listening or watching all the way to the end. I do appreciate it. Bit of a complicated one today. I'll catch you in tomorrow's episode.